Hello gainers, welcome to my channel called Fitter Philosophy. I'm Ralphie, and my subject today is the relationship between respect for others and self-respect. And it's been triggered as a subject for the channel by a recent experience I had. In fact, it was only yesterday. I was in a telephone shop looking to change from a pay-as-you-go contract to a standing monthly payment contract. So a fairly simple situation, nothing particularly complex. But as soon as I walked in the door, the atmosphere was a little bit frayed at the edges, if you know what I mean. The decor of the shop was sort of primary colours, cheap materials, like a theatre set. The staff were clearly not being paid very much for the job they do. And a bright young man who was just finishing with a customer said to me, I'll be with you in a few minutes if you just like to wait. So I stood there and I waited. He quickly finished with the previous customer and he went into the back room, staff area, where he started chatting to somebody else who was already there. Then I heard the sound of a crisp packet opening, and then a light in the room went on, and at this point you could see the silhouettes of the people because of the additional internal lighting coming through the translucence of the panel that separated the office from the shop floor. And of course it's there for a purpose, it's so people in the office can see there's people out on the shop floor. So I stood there waiting patiently, and then the conversation grew more animated and you could hear drinks being poured, and it rapidly occurred to me that I'd be waiting quite a few minutes as a customer because I was simply not a priority in relation to this young chap having a break. Now, fair play, if you're working with members of the public, you certainly do need a break, but at least inform people of a situation, or say, would you like to make an appointment and come back 15 minutes? These situations are easily addressed. I've dropped my clicker. I'll show you the clicker actually when I pick it back up. I use it at the end of the video. But it got me thinking while I'm standing there, getting irritated. And I didn't wait very long, because as soon as the situation manifested itself, I just counted backwards from 10 to 1 and then left the shop, and they didn't get my business. And it's really created a toxic opinion about that particular company, which is a small telecommunications company, which inevitably at some point is just going to get swallowed up by a larger one, and that'll be the end of it, because that's the way of the world. But I was thinking more about that young man who, perhaps through the inexperience of life, but more importantly the lack of role models around him to give him guidance and let him see the benefits of your actions and the shortcomings of your actions. I'd like to see a bigger picture. He was sort of basically, not out of any animosity, but he was just showing indifference to me as a customer. And in showing that lack of respect for others, he wasn't fully understanding the value of self-respect. And this is really the hub of this. Now that I've set the scene, I'm concluding with the importance in learning from the experience of life through observation, our personal observation. And how the more we show respect for others, consideration for others, humanity for others, because that's a big positive attribute of the species collectively, the more we have a deeper, more meaningful sense of self-respect. As we generate our positivity outwards to others around us, so we get it back again in the same way that when we generate negativity, indifference, ignorance, dismissiveness, laziness, as we put that out around us, that's what we get back, because in many ways the world around us is the sounding board to our own personal connection with it. It becomes an echo chamber, very much an echo chamber for the way we choose to engage with the world. Now, how did I resolve that situation? You're probably interested to know. Well, I basically walked out the shop because when you're hanging around too long, you start to build up a sense of negativity, and then you kind of reflect it back in the environment in which it's built up, and it doesn't help. It's undermining positivity. So it's better in these situations just to walk away and let it be, because frankly it wasn't that important anyway. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed this little monologue. I'm Ralphie, out in the Greenwood. It's a beautiful place. I'm going to leave you with it, but first of all, I've got to pick up my clicker. Won't be a second. This is it. This is the automatic programmable, well, 2-option on-off switch for the remote for the camera. As usual, it's really cheap, flimsy, easily lost, a dull colour, so if you drop it you might not see it if you're out in the wildlife. But it comes with its own little carrying pouch, and as usual with such things, it's really quite overpriced for what it actually is and what it actually does. But hey, that's part of the modern world. I'm Ralphie, hope you've enjoyed this. I shall leave you, gainers, with the view.